A 14-year-old boy piloted an ultralight aircraft, illegally fleeing with 20 endangered birds. However, while crossing a stretch of ocean, he encountered a fierce storm. The powerful winds scattered the geese formation, forcing Thomas to fly directly into the dark clouds. Rain and wind battered his wings as lightning exploded around him, putting him in constant danger. Just when despair set in, a beam of light suddenly appeared in the sky. Thomas immediately pushed the controls, and with the storm's winds propelling him forward, he successfully escaped the treacherous weather. The geese followed him above the clouds, but Thomas noticed one bird was missing. He frantically searched for the lost goose until he spotted a small figure trailing behind the aircraft. The straggling goose had caught up, and Thomas immediately pulled it into his arms to rest. On the first night, he landed by a lake. He had barely fallen asleep when all the geese suddenly became agitated. A leopard was stalking toward them. Thomas shouted at the big cat, which fortunately scared it away. He immediately took off again with the geese. Soon his fuel ran out, forcing him to make a risky landing on an unfamiliar beach. His actions caught the attention of a local girl who, after learning about Thomas's mission, filmed his story and posted it online. The news instantly spread across Europe, earning Thomas the title bird hero. At every landing, people spontaneously offered their help. However, days of high-intensity flying pushed Thomas's body to its limits. After his next landing, he collapsed into unconsciousness and didn't wake up until 3 days later in the hospital. His father, no longer willing to let him take such risks, decided to clip the geese's wings so they could never fly again. Thomas was devastated. He knew that birds without the ability to fly were essentially condemned to death. Just as his father prepared to clip the wings, Thomas's mother quietly snuck him out of the hospital. She put him on a plane, allowing him to complete his final mission. Moved by Thomas's dedication, the government decided not to prosecute him for illegally transporting endangered birds to teach them migration routes. As Thomas flew his aircraft over the city, many people came out of their homes to wave at him. He had become a hero across Europe. After landing on the French coast, Thomas successfully completed this unprecedented migration. However, an environmental official dismissed it on television, calling it merely a beautiful adventure and claiming the geese couldn't possibly remember the route or fly back to the Arctic to breed on their own. 6 months later, Thomas's family returned to Norway, waiting for a miracle. Day after day passed with no sign of the geese, and everyone began to doubt the plan had failed. Just when all hope seemed lost, Thomas raised his binoculars and suddenly spotted familiar figures in the distance. All 20 geese had returned to their starting point with perfect accuracy. They had successfully memorized the migration route Thomas had taught them. Thomas's adventure not only saved an endangered species but also proved that humans and nature can coexist in harmony.